Thank you so much to those of you supporting the channel on Patreon, including the big patron of the month, the Nerd Therapist. Thank you. Hey, Pokemon Masters! My name is Bakuchi and thank you for clicking on this video. Team Rocket's Rocket! Team Rocket, the most dastardly evil group of goofballs in the whole Pokemon world. Okay, when I'm talking about Team Rocket, especially in this video, I'm very rarely referring to these three. Usually I'm referring to the evil organization, run by Giovanni. Team Rocket, of course, known as a bunch of crooks who steal Pokemon, but really, stealing Pokemon is at the very bottom of the sinister list of things that they have done throughout their time in the games and animated series. In fact, I warn you all, maybe you want to turn away now, because this video is going to get very chilling and cold. That said, thank you to today's sponsors, DNA and Pokemon Masters. Because of course, Pokemon Masters has the new Lurking Shadows event featuring Giovanni, the evil leader of Team Rocket, and that is of course why they have sponsored this video, because we're gonna know what exactly is Giovanni up to. For those of you who don't know what Pokemon Masters is, it is a wonderful Pokemon mobile app game. There's 3-on-3 battling, a story, a co-op mode, but really what makes it for me is all of the various Pokemon Masters and trainers that you collect. And not just the trainers and the gym leaders, but apparently now also evil team leaders with Giovanni, who is the leader of Team Rainbow Rocket here, an even more enhanced version of Team Rocket, and with Mewtwo by his side. And all of these characters can be collected for absolutely free. The whole game is free to play. All of my characters I have got just using gems that I've got in the game. If you are interested in checking it out, please click the link in the top of the description. It'll take you to the iOS or Google Play Store. So thank you to DNA and Pokemon Masters for sponsoring this deep dive, and let's take a look at the 10, in my opinion, most evil crimes of Team Rocket. Starting off, of course, with number 10, stealing Pokemon. Yeah, stealing Pokemon is the 10th worst thing they have ever done. Team Rocket are known for stealing Pokemon. A lot of that comes down to stealing Pokemon to give to their boss, Giovanni, but also to use on their teams so that they can keep on stealing Pokemon, which in itself is wrong, but a specific example I want to look at is in the episode of the animated series, The Breeding Center Secret. This is a Pokemon daycare, a place that trainers take their Pokemon to be looked after in the care of a stranger. And that's where Butch and Cassidy, members of Team Rocket, were using it as a guise to steal Pokemon. That is, and I'm saying this as an evil team leader myself, go Team Snooze, that is pretty darn evil. Number 9, the cutting off of Slowpoke and Raticate tails as seen in Pokemon Gold and Silver. Yes, in these games, Team Rocket are known for cutting off Pokemon tails and selling them on the black market. In fact, Slowpoke tail and Raticate tails are passwords to get into their headquarters. Surely you've got to know when you go to work in the morning and then, you go to work and it's like, hey Dave, hey John, how's it going? All right, no, nice one. How's the kids? Wife, good, yeah? And you go in and you scan your ID badge and you ask for the secret password and you go, Slowpoke tails, because we cut them off. You've got to know you're a villain, right? You get that. Anyway, they seem to show absolutely no resource as they kidnap a bunch of Slowpokes and take them to a well to abuse their power and then, cut off their Slowpoke tails, which thankfully Slowpoke can't feel a lot of pain and Slowpoke tails do grow back, but still not cool, guys. Number 8, brainwashing. Brainwashing / hypnosis, as seen in the episode of Pikachu Revolt, in which Pikachu revolts against its trainer Ash because it is under the hypnotic control of, yet again, Butch and Cassidy using Drowsy. Drowsy as well is a pretty common Team Rocket Pokemon, and that's because it's got these hypnotic powers which are very good for abducting and stealing small Pokemon or making them fall asleep. Thankfully, Ash and the gang do manage to stop Butch and Cassidy, but still, this is not okay. And I think it's definitely worse than just outright stealing, because it means that the Pokemon is stealing itself. Yeah, not cool. Number 7, and while yes, this could all be branched under stealing, this one is even worse than the last two, because it is the kidnapping of a baby Lugia by tricking it into thinking that its mother Lugia is calling it. This is something that Team Rocket, again, Butch and Cassidy, led by Dr. Namba, do in the animated TV series, in what is actually my favorite arc of the show. I really love the Pokemon Master Quest League. It is the league of the show that I grew up with, and just the music. I'm on a Master Quest Pokemon. It's great stuff. And definitely the highlight of that arc of the story is the time that Ash Ketchum spends with a Lugia. And it's both terrible because Team Rocket not only steal a baby from its mother, which of course distresses the mum Lugia, but also they trick the baby into thinking that giving it a fake mum, which again just solidifies Team Rocket's place as evil people. Now you might be thinking, has Jesse James and Meowth done nothing wrong? And sorry to disappoint, number 6 I believe. Team Rocket weren't always just just massive goofballs. They weren't always joke throwaway characters. In fact, it wasn't until really the voice of James got replaced quite early on in the show that actor made the decision that James is actually kind of a funny character, and that Team Rocket should be seen as kind of the joke throwaway characters. But before that, in the first episode of the TV show, Jessie and James attack a hospital with toxic Pokemon. In the episode Pokemon Emergency, they use Coughing and Ekans to attack a hospital filled with sick Pokemon. Okay, that's probably a bit worse than some of the other stuff. So, Jessie and James, I'll give you a pass because nowadays you're just lovable. But back then, you had some bad roots. You've actually come a long way. Good for you. Number 5, trying to mess with time travel. Dr. Zager in the Pokemon Unova League tries to take hold of the power of legendary Pokemon and a fossil Pokemon to find a time gate so that he can use the power of time travel to presumably take over the world. I think world domination is a little bit worse than stealing, and granted they're stealing Pokemon for world domination, but here they're going about it by messing with the timeline, which has so many unintended consequences. You've all heard of the butterfly effect or Butterfree effect, right? Let's say you go back in time and you wave your arm about and you kind of accidentally swat a Butterfree. Sorry, Butterfree. And that Butterfree in the original timeline had taken nectar from one flower to a plant that was bearing fruit. Well, now that plant isn't going to grow, the fruit isn't going to grow, which means there's less fruit at market, which means the person who was trying to make a living and just barely getting by selling fruit, they're gonna maybe not have enough money to then feed their family. And because of the lack of food, that kid who would have previously grown up to become an intelligent Pokemon professor just got so stressed that one day at school that they failed their test. They got so stressed out, and as a result, they never went down the route of becoming a Pokemon professor, which means that they never grew up to give a bunch of trainers their Pokemon, which that has just massive consequences, all because I accidentally swatted a Butterfree. And I think Team Rocket's intentions were a lot worse than swatting Butterfrees. Number 4, this one's in the manga. They combine the DNA and merge together Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno into one creature. Okay, this is where we're starting to get a little bit more serious, and granted the Pokemon manga does deal with a few more, not adult topics so much, it's just a little bit more hardy, I think. Team Rocket combined together the 3 Pokemon into one, so suddenly you've got 3 brains sharing one body, and we know from Dodrio's Pokedex entries that the 3 Dodrio heads are kind of known to squabble, and pretty much one of them is always angry. And you know, Dodrio's grown up learning how to deal with this. Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno have not. On top of that, they are 3 legendary Pokemon, so if any one of them is angry, that is a lot of power and a lot of anger inside one body. Speaking of the changing of DNA, number 3, the forced unnatural mutation and evolution of Magikarp at the Lake of Rage in Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Here, by using radio waves, Team Rocket were trying to manipulate the genetics of Magikarp to turn Magikarp into Gyarados, and they kind of did it, but it didn't quite work. And in fact, the whole reason that the red Gyarados is a shiny red Gyarados is because in this version of the story, it's red because it was forced to evolve too early. It didn't have time to change its coloration to the blue that we know Gyarados to be. This is forced on the Magikarp. They don't get a choice, although granted, if you're a Magikarp, wouldn't you want to be a Gyarados? But it's no wonder that the Lake of Rage is known as the Lake of Rage. Because this experiment is not only incredibly distressing, if put into the wrong hands, which it is, Team Rocket could have then tried to use that to evolve Ash's Pikachu and a number of other Pokemon that maybe didn't want to evolve. So now it's getting really personal as we get on to number 2. Team Rocket have kind of been responsible for a couple of Pokemon becoming ghosts. Also, in the Pokemon movie Pokemon Heroes, Latios and Latias are being hunted by 2, I guess they're kind of like bounty hunters. They are actually rogues. They're not part of Team Rocket in the original Japanese version, but in the English dub, they are Team Rocket. And because of them and the destruction they cause, Latios sadly has to sacrifice itself to save the city. So that is at a distance and only in the English dub kind of Team Rocket's responsibility. But it doesn't matter where you are in the world, because that Marowak in the Pokemon Tower, it is an angered spirit there because Team Rocket made it a spirit. Oh, and they did that pretty much in front of a baby Cubone. So yeah, that's pretty much the worst thing that Team Rocket have ever done. Except I think there's something that might be even a little tiny bit worse, and that's just because ghosts exist in the Pokemon world, and they definitely live on in the form of like ghost Pokemon. So pretty tragic, but it's kind of okay. Number 1, they made a powerful Pokemon and they called it Mewtwo. I think that's from Detective Pikachu. I just love the idea of Bill Nye saying Mewtwo. Anyway, potentially worse than the ending of life and then turning it into a ghost Pokemon is the creation of life. They created a Mewtwo from the fossil of Mew, and then they scientifically engineered it to make it really, really powerful, but also to make it really angry. It is said, according to the Pokedex, that Mewtwo lacks a compassionate heart because it was built that way. They made Mewtwo to be angry, to be an angry Pokemon, and then after that, to possess it and use its powers. That's what Giovanni did. And Giovanni wants to then use those powers to take over the world. In my opinion, that is the worst thing Team Rocket has done, and that is why Giovanni is the leader of Team Rocket. But that's just my opinion on what the absolute worst things that Team Rocket have done. Maybe you can think of something else which you can leave in the comments. Of course, while you're down there, you might as well go ahead, click the link. It's free to download, free to play. Pokemon Masters. And this video, of course, thank you again to the sponsors, DNA. Click that link. It's going to take you to the Google Play, iOS store, and then there you can check out the Lurking Shadows event for yourself. You can work out what Giovanni has been up to and how to stop his Mewtwo. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do click that link and check out Pokemon Masters. I'm really enjoying the game and just learning more about the characters. See you soon with another video, and of course, so hi Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon